What is up, boys? It is PDS. Today I'm coming at you with not a Plat 1 deck list. I tried my hardest, tried to grind out some days with this deck to get to Plat 1. Unfortunately, it just cannot go second. Literally a little speck of dust lands on your normal summon and your whole turn is finished. So if you guys are going to make this deck, please just keep that in mind. The deck is just for fun. It's not competitive. It is very, very fun, though. So let's go for the card for card. It is Crystrons, of course. You guys know in Duel Links, Crystrons was a pretty popular and meta deck. I wanted to try and make that into a Master Duel deck. Unfortunately, it didn't go so hot, but it does do a lot of cool things. So let's take a look. So 2 Jet Synchrons. This card's awesome. Basically, it's a tuner in the graveyard. You can discard a card to special summon itself, but it gets banished when it leaves the field. And it goes into a Link Karibo. It gets you into your Hockley Fibrax, which is a really, really important part of this deck in the extra deck. It requires 1 tuner. I think it's just 2 monsters, including a tuner, right? Yeah, so it's a Hockley Fibrax by itself. And it sends Crystrion monsters to the graveyard, which obviously, they get their bonus effects. So yeah. So all of the Crystrons have an effect where you can target themselves on the field to or you can target a card in the field, destroy it, and then special summon a Crystrion tuner from the deck. And then in the graveyard, they have an effect where you banish and you get another effect. But you can only do one or the other. You can't do both in the same turn. And the tuners don't have that effect. The tuners have the effect to synchro summon on your opponent's turn. So that's basically how the deck works. So Quan lets you synchro summon by special summoning a monster from your hand and using them and sending them to the graveyard. So he's a level 1, so you can do a lot of stuff with like Scrap Golem and Solfefnir, making a level 6 synchro or even a level 5 synchro if you have Rosenix. So yeah, 2 Max C just because I wanted to at least try to help this deck's capabilities in going second. Deck still sucks going second, but I did what I could, right? 1 Citri. This one lets you special summon a monster in the graveyard and perform a synchro summon immediately after. And of course, also I forgot to say, the tuners can only summon machine monsters, so you're playing a lot of machine synchro in your extra deck. And yeah, they get banished, so it's a really neat way to get Solfefnir banished, so you can special summon off of Impact, which is really good for grind games. We got 1 Turtle Boy here. When he's banished from the graveyard, you can special summon a Crystron from your hand, which is really nice as an extender. And of course, like I said, all the Crystrons have the face-up, pop a card on the field, and then special summon a tuner from the deck, except for the tuners. So he's not a tuner, so he can do that. Then we have Gilasaurus, really nice if your scrap combo gets interrupted. Combo. If your scrap combo gets interrupted. And yeah, he's really nice to trish your opponent on their turn as well. 3 Scrap Recycler, really important to the deck. On normal or special summon, you can send a machine monster from your deck to your graveyard, not once per turn, so obviously we're going to be abusing that as much as possible. Sending basically anything in our deck besides the hand traps, right? So yeah, then we play 2 Smiger. In the graveyard, you can banish him to get a Crystron spell or trap. We don't play any spells, just the traps are good. And then he has the same thing where if you can, pop a card in the field, special summon a tuner. This guy, same thing, but in the graveyard, you can banish it to get a Crystron monster except himself. They're really good. And he's really nice in the combo to just try to keep your hand plentiful. 1 Vreon, he's the most important tuner in the deck. He gets you into your Paladin Zextron, into a lot of plays. Into your Quarian Gondrax, he's basically the GOAT, And yeah, he special summons 1 from the banish, and he puts himself back into the deck. So playing 1 is fine because even if you draw, you can summon it from the hand, and he recycles himself, so really, really nice. 2 Ash Blossoms. I don't have a third. I don't know if I would play 3 just because the space is already kind of tight, but yeah, I decided to just go with Ash and Maxia as my hand traps. 2 Rosenix. He has the same thing where if he's on the field, you can pop a card, special summon a tuner, and then in the graveyard, you can banish it to special summon a level 1 token, which is really good. Basically, if you don't open a scrap card, if you don't open another Crystron card, you want to send Rosenix. Rosenix summons a token, then you go into the full scrap combo, which includes, special summoning Recycler back with Scrap Wyvern, then popping this Recycler, special summoning Golem from your deck, then special summoning the Recycler, sending Jet Synchron. Jet Synchron sends a card from your hand to the graveyard, special summons Hockley Fibrax, special summons Rion. That's the turn 1 combo. But if you open a Crystron card, instead of sending Rose next. You send Sofefnir, because Sofefnir has an effect where it can special summon this Fern from your deck, and then you use this Fern and Recycler to make Scrap Wyvern. Then this Fern gets Smiter. Then Jet Synchron later on will discard Smiter, which will get you an Impact. So you have Impact, Hackley Fibrax. You have the Rion as well. So you have a lot of versatile plays on your opponent's turn. So this deck plays on your opponent's turn. They play 3 Scrap Raptor, really important card. Basically, you can target a monster on the field, destroy it, and you get an additional normal summon. And then, if this card is destroyed by a Scrap monster, so you can destroy himself, he can search for a Scrap monster. So really, really important to get the Recycler. So you want to play 3 copies and as many ways to get to him because he is just more copies of Recycler. Recycler is the most important card in this deck. 2 Golem. He's a brick, but if you draw it and he's not in your deck, the whole combo is dead. So yeah, you really need to play 2. 2 Sofefnir. In the graveyard, you can discard a card to special summon itself, then destroy a card. You can even just stall on him if you need to, but if he is destroyed, you can special summon a Crystron monster from your deck that includes tuners or non-tuners. And it's really good for getting this run, like I said, which gets you your whole resource management really, really nicely. You can even do that effect in the hand, so it's just a really good extender. And yeah, so we played 3 Fossil Dig, 3 Scrapyard, literally just to search Scrap Raptor. It's worth noting that Fossil Dig can actually search Gilosaurus as well, which is kind of cute, but it doesn't really come up. 2 Lightning Storm just to help our chances of going seconds. 2 Called by the Grave just to improve our chances of our combo going off. Entry, not really that good. You don't never use the on-field effect as a trap. You want to use it in the graveyard. It basically just manipulates the level of a Crystron monster by sending a Crystron monster to the graveyard from your deck. And then finally an Impact. Crystron Impact. Target one of your banished Crystron monsters, special summon it, and if you do, all the opponent's monsters' defenses become 0. And then during either player's turn, except the turn is sent to the graveyard, you can banish it to negate an effect that targets a Crystron monster. That includes like Impermanence, cards like that, Zodiac Trident. You get a lot of those type of cards. This card is really cool because Hackley Fibrax banishes itself for cost. So you can actually bring it back on a later turn to reuse it, which is really neat. And yeah, so you got Wonder Magician to summon off with the Hackley Fibrax. On summon, it destroys a spell trap on the field. That is mandatory, so be really careful if you have a spell trap on the field and your opponent doesn't, because you will be forced to destroy your own spell trap. And then if it's destroyed, you can draw a card. If this card is destroyed, of course. And then its other effect is once per chain, you can get that Excel Synchro effect like all the Tech Genius cards have. They just let you synchro on your opponent's turn, so really nice for making some of the cards in our extra deck. 1 Ambitrix. On Synchro Summon, it will put all special summon cards into defense mode, and when it's destroyed, it will special summon any Crystron card from the graveyard. Paladin Zectron, really nice. Has an effect where you do not take battle damage and it cannot be destroyed by card effects, but it basically affects your whole turn, so like you will always live to your next turn to just go for like a Boros sword OTK, so really, really nice. And basically, if that effect resolves, you're not taking any battle damage from him or from any card that gets destroyed or anything or battles. 1 Don Dragster because it's a machine, so we need it for our tuners. It's just a spell and trap negate. Really nice. Shooting Riser Dragon to summon off of the Hackley Fibrax. Really, really good card. It sends cards to the graveyard from your deck to manipulate its level, and it also has that quick synchro effect, which is extremely powerful, as you guys will see in the replays. It can set up your next turn. It can completely devastate your opponent. Really, really powerful card, and I like it a lot. I really did not use this card too much before this deck, but I really like it. It's super strong. 1 Borreload Savage Dragon, just in case we need to stop like on summon effect that doesn't activate on summon, like a Rescue Rabbit or something, or even like a Spell and Trap negate, just something to get something going. Especially if they're like Lightning Storm, you can just chain, put it in defense, and you're chilling. 1 Trishula, really devastating on your opponent's turn. Just make sure you do it as Chainlink 1, as this card will miss timing. 1 Phoenix on summon. Banish all spells and traps your opponent controls and in their graveyard. And then if it gets destroyed, you can special summon a Crystron monster from your graveyard. Then we play 1 Quarion Gondrax. If you guys know Duel Links, you know what he does. Target monsters that your opponent controls are in their graveyard up to the number of synchro materials used, so usually 3. You banish them, and then when he is destroyed, You can special summon one banish card from either player's remove from play. So really, really nice effects. One Satellite Warrior. On Synchro Summon, you can target cards up to the number of Synchro monsters in your graveyard, destroy them, and if you do, this card gains 1,000. So usually it's going up to 45, 55, so crazy. And of course, the pop on your opponent's turn is really, really nice. And yeah, usually you're making him with, you know, like Wonder Magician and Amatrix, or like, you know, Don Dragster with Riser Dragon, sending cards to the graveyard to manipulate his level. Yeah, really cool card. One Link Kuriboh for our Hackley Fibrax combo with Jet Synchron. Also, it's really good for link climbing with like Rosenix tokens. One Hackley Fibrax, he summons a tuner from the deck in defense position. Its effects are negated, but it's great for the Crystron tuners because they're used on your opponent's turn, so that's not a problem. And then during your opponent's main phase, you can banish it to special summon a Synchro tuner from your extra deck and ensure it as a Synchro summon. So yeah, and then finally Scrap Wyvern. I explained the combo. You definitely want to play 2 of them just because on the following turn you can get your Boral Sword OTK, which basically you can just do with a Scrap Golem that lives. So basically this whole point of the deck is, you know, you get that little combo going and then you defend Golem with your life to summon Boral Sword to just OTK them. So yeah, that is the deck, guys. Let me know what you think. I made this on a new account and I was kind of like, damn, this deck kind of, you know, I got the plat with it, but I was like, this, you know, I was kind of regretting my choice of deck. But luckily, you know, I did go into the Fossil Dig box, which is the Prehistoric Beast Advance, which has dinosaurs. So I ended up having, you know, enough cards to go into a dino deck. So I made that as my backup on this account. So, you know, I can't really complain. I just had to, you know, get some extra deck cards, but I think I'm chilling now. So yeah, that is the video, guys. I don't know if you guys want to see a dino video, let me know. Enjoy the replays, and I will talk to you all later. Peace out.